Welcome to the English with Kirsty podcast from www.englishwithkirsty.com. Here I'll be sharing with you tips, information and other learning resources so that you can improve your business English. Hi everyone and welcome back to the English with Kirsty podcast. And today is a bit of a continuation of last week's topic on learning with others, having conversation groups, book clubs and learning together, because I have some things that I could say about these topics, but I really wanted to make the best of the time that we had with our guests last week, so I didn't add them there because otherwise the episode would have got really long and I didn't want that. So I have a few things to say about groups and I'm going to say them here in this solo episode this week, because whether you are somebody who wants to develop their English skills or whether you have another language that you're working on, maybe you can find a group for you as well. There are so many groups available now. I'm also looking into them for things that could help me as someone who wants to develop their skills in my additional languages. So I think it's a good way to have some accountability, have some guidance, and make it more of a social activity rather than just something you do on your own. So I just wanted to talk about some of the things that I've seen in the last couple of years, because I started my first group for people who want to develop their English in September 2022. So quite a while ago. And I do actually have one member of one of the groups who has been there since the very beginning, and she's still here. Others have come and gone. Many stay for longer periods of time though, because they get to know people in their group and we build a nice, friendly, relaxed atmosphere for sharing and coming together. So often people stay for a longer time because they enjoy the groups and enjoy meeting with others. So yeah, it's nice to have this sense of community. And I think, as was mentioned last time, the groups, if they're smaller, then you can get to know people better because there is time to speak, time for everyone to speak. I mean, I make sure there is anyway, but if you are coming with the intention of talking about the specific topic, then it's good to make sure that there's time for everyone to do that. So just for anybody who doesn't know what I have, or well, I changed things up a bit last year, so it's probably just good to go back and revisit that. So I have 3 groups at the moment. 2 groups are for my conversation club, which is for business owners and freelancers. Those groups have a limit of 6, so 5 or 6 people is enough if we're coming together to really get into a topic together. And when we started to approach that limit last year, I decided we would open another group because I like the idea, I like the way it works, and I want to keep offering that to new people. But it was also important to me that our one group didn't get too big. And then the cafe is for people who want to practice their general English, conversational English, spontaneous conversations about things that haven't got anything to do with work. So the cafe doesn't have a limit at the moment. If it gets really big, I will think about the second group, but at the moment we don't really have that problem. So that is the cafe. And then the club is for the business owners and freelancers. So I think it's good that we can really get to know people. I mentioned that I started in 2022. It's a really nice way to share, and I think that works on 2 levels if you have a language related group, because obviously the more you know people, perhaps you're going to open up to them more anyway because you feel more comfortable with them. But I think that also affects us with our use of language, because maybe you feel a bit more comfortable to take some language risks or to say what you're thinking without worrying so much, is this right? Is this perfect? When you're with people whom you know a bit better, and also that apart from me, that they're in the same position as well. Last week we were talking about the levels. I would really see my groups as people who aren't looking for a course. maybe they will go on to do, and a couple of people have been and then signed up for a course, but often it's people who are looking for opportunities to speak English because they don't have any. A lot of the people who come to the cafe say that they enjoy speaking English, but in their day-to-day lives, they don't have many opportunities to do that. And with the freelancers and business owners, it's often that they either don't have opportunities, or when they do have opportunities, that they're things that are more important, and they don't want to be practicing with potential clients or at events where they feel there's a bit more pressure to speak. They want to practice in a situation that feels more comfortable, and to build their confidence so that they can then go and use it in other places. So it's people who already have a level of English that they're comfortable and maybe don't want to go for a course, or maybe they want to get to know me a bit better and find out what I do. That's happened too, but it's people who have skills that they want to use without necessarily signing up for training. Um, and it's really lovely to see people developing as well, people that I thought maybe didn't talk as much, and then as they became more comfortable, definitely have a lot more to share, a lot of ideas, and it's really lovely to watch that, people feeling more confident, feeling more comfortable, and feeling more able to share what they're thinking. So I've already touched on this about why is it important to have small groups. I didn't realize how important this is to people until I did my customer feedback survey, which I'm still working through the results of that. But a number of people mentioned that small groups were important to them because they don't want to be in a big room of people. I do have bigger events as well. I had like the networking. We never really know who's going to come to that, but these paid groups are different because we know that they will be smaller groups, and I think that really helps people who want to build their confidence because they know that they're not going to have to speak in front of a big room of people. So what do we do? We have two types of meetings mainly. Let's split them up. In the club, we have two types of meetings. Somebody will give a presentation about a topic that they know about, so that's good for practicing speaking in front of others as well. And then we will have a conversation about the topic of their presentation to make sure that there is a conversation element to the conversation club. And then we will sometimes we don't have a presentation, but we have a topic, and I have questions about that topic, and everybody shares their ideas. So it is guided in the sense that I have a plan, I have something for us to talk about, and I have prepared something, because the idea is that we also learn something in relation to our businesses, something that we can implement, something that will make life easier, an opportunity to share experiences. We have that. But other times it's more focused on a presentation. So we've had, what do we have? The beginning of the year, we two of us talked about a book that we've read, and then we had a discussion about topics coming from the book. Somebody gave a presentation because she'd been to some training about setting prices, so she shared with us what she'd learned about that. Someone else is coming to talk about her experience with AI in her business, and when it's useful, when it isn't, and different experiences she's had um, trying different things. And then yeah, sometimes it's more of a general topic where nobody's presenting, but we talk about our experiences of that. And I think it's nice because we see the same people, and we can celebrate the wins. If somebody's talking about something that they're doing, then we can celebrate with them when it happens, or find out if somebody's preparing for something, they can share about it afterwards. And it's a bit like we accompany each other's on our business journeys, and that's really nice to have people who are interested, and it's a kind of accountability as well, which comes alongside the language aspect. Um, In the cafe, it's more things outside work. So it's about travel, it's about different cultures because you have people from a number of different countries and who can share about their cultures and traditions. Sometimes people share about their hobbies. We people have talked about books there as well. Books come up in both really because they can be business books. We had a session in the club last year about everybody brought a book before the summer holidays, and one of them I hadn't read. I did read it, and then I got another podcast guest, so that was good. But yeah, books come up in both groups because people enjoy reading for pleasure as well. But coming back to, because one of the questions we had last week was what are the benefits? And I was thinking, okay, what are the benefits that I would say? And I think I would agree with everything that my guest last week said as well, because it's really important to have guided conversations so that you're not just sitting there looking at each other, but with support. So I don't see myself as a trainer in these sessions because I am facilitating the conversations. But of course, I am I am still a trainer. So if people have questions about English, about the best way to say something, I will answer them as well. I'm not going to stop people and correct mistakes because the idea is more that we have conversations, but I will obviously not let someone struggle and I will help them if they have questions about the language because I think that's important when you reach a certain level, especially that you still have somewhere to go if you want to know things, if you have doubts, or if you want to find a better way to say something. I think it really works because there's a sense of community and interest in the groups. People, I really get the sense that people do care about each other and they will ask if they know that um, somebody was doing something that maybe they were nervous about, or somebody's happy about something, we can share in that with them. Even somebody who had only been once or twice to one of the groups asked about somebody else who wasn't there. She was genuinely interested, and I think that's really nice to see the group dynamic building where people are kind of invested in the success or of the other people in the group. I think it's important for us when we have additional languages to build activities into our lives that involve them. So um, with the club for freelancers, it's things that we can use in our businesses afterwards, like knowledge that will be helpful for us. It's in English, but the whole focus isn't it's something in English, it's something that we can learn as well. I think there is a sense of commitment in these groups. People generally come regularly. Everybody goes on holiday. Sometimes there are reasons why we can't, but there's generally a high level of commitment in these groups because people want to participate and meet with the others. So it's a monthly commitment. So you can buy sessions and then you have sessions on your account until you use them. Um, but generally people do stay and they are committed to being in the group to grow and learn with the others. So you can attend each group once, well, each group as in each group where we have spaces, so which is one in the club and one in the cafe. You can attend once to see what it's like, and that's for free. And then afterwards, you pay the small place reservation fee to be a member of the club, and then you can buy as many sessions as you want, and then renew them when you're running out. But so the commitment for it is for as long as you want it to be, but generally people do stay around because they like the others in the group and they like the way that it runs. I think it's important that we have a friendly and relaxed atmosphere as well, because if people are feeling a bit nervous about speaking because they haven't done it for a while or because they don't know what it's like, I think it's really important that we do build a friendly and relaxed atmosphere where people feel safe and empowered to start speaking because of all the skills, I do think that speaking can be one of the most challenging. So it's important that we feel in a good um, place where we can try to do that if that's something that we feel a bit more hesitant about. So yeah, I wanted to just give a bit of background about why I was talking about this. I wasn't, I wanted to find out what other people are doing as well. I think a lot of things are the same, even though our three languages are different. The ones last week we were talking about Portuguese and Italian. A lot of the things are the same about the group dynamics and about having support for people who have reached a higher level, and the making it a regular thing, whether it's a monthly meeting or a weekly meeting. Mine are monthly and mine are all online because we're bringing together people from different parts of the world, mainly different parts of Europe, but we've also had people from outside Europe. I know the other groups are weekly and every 2 weeks, but the idea is having something regular that kind of becomes part of your schedule, becomes part of your routine, which makes it easier to accommodate it because you just think, okay, we do this on a certain day at a certain time, and it becomes part of what you do. So I think there's a lot of overlap with the things that I've experienced in my groups and the things that my guest last week shared as well. And I would encourage you, if you think this is something that could be interesting for you, whether it's something quite specific like reading, you might be able to find a book club for learners of a language that you want to improve, or even a book club in that language. But we've been talking about those specific to support people who are learning, or a conversation club in that language. Maybe you want to try a couple of different ones to see, because everybody runs them in a different way. Everybody brings a different vibe to the groups that they set up. Everybody has different rules, and sometimes it's good to kind of look around and see what's available so that you can see where you feel most at home and how you feel with the other people too. But I would encourage you to have a look and see if you can find anything that you think might help you, because it can be a really good way to meet new people and people whom you otherwise may never have met and develop your skills. And I think it's always important to keep learning and keep enjoying our languages, because if we're doing something that feels like a chore, like I have to do this, you're not going to want to do it. But if it's something that you're enjoying, then you'll feel more positive about it, and you will probably learn a lot more than only about the language. I found that I've learned so many different things in the last 4 years with these groups, and I'm not learning the language. I'm there as the group leader and facilitator, but I always come away with something new. So that's really good. So I will so the link for the groups for freelancers is englishwithkirsty.com/conversations, and the link for the cafe, the general English one, is englishwithkirsty.com/cafe. And you can also send me a message if you want to find out more, or you can come and sign up and come and join us for a session. So have a wonderful week, enjoy your languages, and keep learning.
I hope you enjoyed this episode of the English with Kirsty podcast. If you have any questions or comments, my email address is kirsty@englishwithkirsty.com, or you can go to www.englishwithkirsty.com/podcast, where you'll find information about the individual episodes.